Near the edge of the Arctic region of Canada, the short summer is being chased away by a constant cold wind from the north. Along the western shore of the Hudson Bay, winter is beginning to close its grip. One animal, with its thick fur and layer of heavy blubber, actually thrives in these freezing, lonely surroundings. The polar bear.
Polar bears are built for winter. They're built for the cold, they're built for the wind.
These marine mammals spend most of their lives on frozen seas, and they depend on the frozen ice packs for hunting. But these polar bears don't enjoy the luxury of an uninterrupted winter.
With the onset of summer and the warmer temperatures, all of Hudson Bay melts. Unlike the high Arctic, there's no permanent ice pack here. When the bay melts, the bears are forced ashore.
It's a seasonal life for the bears, and when the weather starts to turn cold again, large numbers of them gather around the coast. At this time, these typically private animals will interact in ways not completely understood by humans, all the while waiting for the bay to freeze so they can go back to the ice and their food source. As the bears wait, they often have company. These tundra buggies are designed to bring people to the polar bears.
Well, that's an adult male, but rather young, and he's not in bad shape.
No other animal hunts the polar bear. They're at the top of the food chain. Therefore, they are considered good indicators of the health of the Arctic environment.
What is especially attractive in polar bears in terms of conservation, it is let's say umbrella species. It's a large predator which is the top of food chains in the Arctic.
At this time of year, the polar bears have used up the built-up fat reserves that have kept them alive since the ice melted.
They're hungry. Unless they're lucky enough to find some dead beluga whale or dead seal, perhaps that's washed up on the shore, they've essentially gone 4 months at this point without having a bite to eat.
Many researchers believe that the health of polar bears parallels the health of the environment. Scientists are concerned that despite the constant cold in northern Manitoba, it may not be staying cold long enough to keep the environment stable. Global warming may be affecting the ice patterns, which are critical for the survival of the world's largest land carnivore.
Over the last 25 years, research conducted by the Canadian Wildlife Service has found about a 2-week advancement in spring weather and ice melt. Polar bears are a creature of the sea ice. When they're out on the ice, they're hunting seals. Anything in global climate that would affect the stability or the length of the time that the ice is on the Hudson Bay or the Arctic waters is going to have immediate impacts on polar bears.
Polar bear guide John Bykirk is also concerned about the impact of global warming on the bears. He reports that in a recent year, ice didn't form on Hudson Bay until around December 12th. The bay normally freezes around November 19th. As a result, the bears lost 2 or 3 weeks of feeding at the beginning of the season. He also reports that the ice thawed early in the spring of the next year, so the bears lost another 2 or 3 weeks. In total, the bears lost 4 to 6 weeks of hunting, which significantly affected their ability to find enough food. Nikita Ovsyannikov has studied polar bears for years and believes they are a key to understanding the Arctic.
When we focus on polar bear and develop any conservation measures for polar bear, as a consequence of that is that we are protecting the entire Arctic ecosystems.
For most people, polar bears truly symbolize the frozen north of our Earth. It's hard to imagine the Arctic or the world without them. Can the world afford to lose the beautiful polar bear? Will people do something to ensure that they survive? The future of one of the Arctic's most majestic creatures lies in the answers to these questions and in the conservation efforts of a caring world.